What really are OLED monitors? How many OLED panels are there? To be honest, while still being unknown about OLED a few months back, I still remember the first few questions I had. Is OLED itself a panel? Yes and no, it is a panel type. But what specifically is it? I mean, there's a whole list of different OLEDs. And what the hell are all these? Wait, so you're telling me the term OLED itself isn't just a panel? Yes, it's only the definition. Within that definition, there are these two that stick out from the rest. The WOLED and the qd-oled. These two are currently the more prominent OLED panels used in monitors today, with WOLED being manufactured by LG and qd-oled being manufactured by Samsung. So obviously, got people asking between forums. And on social media, which should I get? What is the difference? And what is so special between the two? Well, I got your back. So let's dig in. Guess which one is the qd-oled and which is the WOLED? If you got it right, congrats. Take a look at these two monitors, for example, both using a qd-oled and WOLED. Both panels generally produce the juiciest colors, obviously for being an OLED. But does that mean you should get any OLED panel? Ha 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 ha. I don't think so. Let's take a deeper look at the qd-oled's sRGB, though I don't want to bombard you guys with the technicalities of this. The qd-oled produces an sRGB volume of 161%, which means that it produces super juicy colors in the sRGB space. The WOLED, on the other hand, is 1.4% lower than the qd-oled, though the difference isn't even that noticeable for now. You won't notice it straight on when using either OLED, but you can see the difference side by side, with qd-oled having a slide edge on the sRGB. Good. Now that we're on the same page and we know about these two, let's break it down even more. How is its brightness? If you value screen brightness, qd-oled is generally the better choice. It handles brightness way better than WOLED panels as of now. But it's important to note that WOLED is slowly making its way up, with some models almost keeping up with their qd-oled counterparts, so expect around mid-2025 to 2026 for WOLED to generally keep up. WOLED's brightness is great, but comparing it to qd-oled, qd-oled still wins in terms of brightness. But brightness is just one of the factors. What about the colors? The color accuracy? Wanting the best visuals is a great point when looking at OLED monitors. It doesn't matter if you prioritize gaming, content creation, or just movie watching. The best visuals are the best visuals. Try to guess which one is the qd-oled. Let's see if you got that right. You can see that the purples are more pronounced and more vibrant as compared to the WOLED. Here's another example. What's the difference between the two? Aren't they both red? The actual shade of red is seen on the qd-oled on the right. The difference is insane when looking at the difference side by side. The WOLED is seen as more of an orange compared to what we should actually be getting with the qd-oled. But what about the WOLED? We've tackled already a lot of advantages to the qd-oled, but here's where it gets interesting. Let's take a look at this scene, for example. Guess which one is the WOLED? Let's see if you got it right. As we can see now, the colors pop even more due to the darker environment surrounding it. It's because WOLED panels include a white subpixel, which allows them to achieve higher peak brightness levels than qd-oled displays. In summary, if it senses that it's a near black scene, the pixels individually turn off, and with bright parts, its pixels turn bright. Going back to the qd-oled, its brightness is great, but is that always the case? On the left, you can see that the LG performs much better than Samsung. When displaying a light green color, the green looks more vibrant on the LG, while it appears paler on the Samsung. This difference is due to the algorithmic choice made by the processing of Samsung, which tries to brighten everything up. While this doesn't make the monitor terrible, it does affect the accuracy of the colors as the algorithm artificially brightens things, instead of allowing for richer colors. But did you know there's still always a downside to OLEDs? Yes, I'm not kidding. qd-oled or WOLED displays are vulnerable to one thing and one problem. It's susceptible to burn-in. This is caused when static images are displayed for long periods. For qd-oled specifically, This is worsened by the absence of a white subpixel, which can lead to faster degradation of the red, green, and blue subpixels when producing white content. Though both are vulnerable, did you know that the qd-oled is more at risk? Displaying static images, especially with bright elements, uses more of the RGB subpixels, where burn-in can become a significant issue over time. However, OLED still being vulnerable is less at risk. Remember the presence of a white subpixel? Because of that little guy, the OLED manages static images better than fully using all the RGB subpixels as from the qd-oled. I know you've awakened your third eye in finding the right monitor for yourself, so let's summarize. There are a lot of different panels. The more prominent ones are the OLED and qd-oled. qd-oled if you prioritize brightness and color, and mainly use the monitor for cinematics and immersive gaming, qd-oled is the choice. Conversely, for more a cost-effective option and less risk of a burn-in due to a white subpixel, OLED is the choice. Remember, while qd-oled being more superior in colors, is more prone to burn in, as we mentioned earlier, due to lacking the white subpixel, so it uses all its RGB pixels. There are a lot of OLED panels reaching relevancy, but the most prominent ones being these two. I'll be releasing a part 2 on more to know about these panels, and maybe even tackle some of the newer kids on the block. All I want to say is, both panels are extremely awesome, and depending on your needs and the right care for each panel, it would last you a lifetime. I hope this video helps, and again, that's Fast Tech.